Nice to see all of you. I do special makeup effects for movies, and basically, like, I'm a makeup artist. But you know, most people would probably, who get into the field of doing special makeup effects, they want to make like crazy creatures or blood and guts and stuff like that. But a lot of it actually jives with beauty makeup, because whatever you put on someone, you have to kind of enhance or, you know, accentuate things. So you got to learn a lot of beauty type techniques like shadowing and contouring, and maybe even like, you know, I guess like healthy type, you know, sanitary type things, because you have to put contact lenses in people. You got to color their teeth. You're not just doing the outside, you're actually doing the inside too sometimes, which could be kind of scary for the person if they don't know what you're doing. But today I'm going to do a demo of, because we don't have that much time, so I couldn't do something really crazy, but we're going to do like a really kind of gory zombie, because it's just easy. At a certain point, it's going to be what it is, because it's, you know, we're going to take her face and then just kind of, you know, add stuff to it, like prosthetics. And prosthetics are all kinds of different types now. When I first started, it was pretty much just rubber. You know, you had to find a way to make this rubber, and, you know, we would watch TV because there was no internet. But we would figure it out, and we found a way to make the appliances so that they would fit on a casting of a face, and then we would sculpt the whatever, and then make a mold. And then we would inject this stuff in there, and we'd come out with this rubber piece. Then we would glue that to their face, color it, make it really nice, take pictures, and then we'd have to tear it off, and we lost the piece forever. So we'd be, you know, we'd constantly be making stuff. So then we started doing silicone pieces, because things started advancing a little bit. So we started making these nice little, they're kind of like pieces that can blend down to a person's face, and they're skin colored, they're translucent, so they kind of match with the skin. And today I'm going to be doing gelatin, though. And gelatin is a, it's basically like Jell-O, except now when you go to different schools, like Mud or any of those kind of schools, they have their own brands, but it's basically just Jell-O. You can make it, you can buy it from different stores, but you can heat it up with a little microwave or whatever and apply it to the skin directly. It's very safe, and it's easy to clean up, so that's why we're going to do that today. So I'm going to start by putting lenses in her, so we get that out of the way. Then I'm going to color her teeth. Then we're going to put appliances on her. Then we're going to goop her up and make her really scary. So there's different types of molds. Mold making is kind of a part of what I do, because you can't generate these pieces without having some sort of a negative of the shape that you want. So this one is a hard plastic epoxy mold, and then I poured the stuff in there and then kind of swiped it off. So I'll be able to peel these out, and then we'll have little pieces like this. And then we'll glue them onto her face. There's also silicone. This is a nice silicone block. But we would sculpt these pieces, and then we make a silicone mold. We pour the silicone on top, and then we can peel out the little appliances. And we have those as well. You can make them out of different things, but we powder it because it's pretty sticky stuff. And this one is like a little bite. Because zombie, it's got to have a bite. I don't know if you want me to pass this around, or if anybody wants to look at them, or touch them, or feel them, feel how they feel like skin. You guys want to try it? But it's, you know, pretty gross.
Can you hold it? I'm just gonna hold it. Oh, okay.
It's interesting. Well, yeah. So, I mean, you know, this is a business where you have to be creative in a lot of different levels. You can't just put makeup on a person and say, there you go. You have to kind of have a mindset for this kind of thing. It's most of the time, you know, if you get into being a makeup artist on a movie set or something, the producer's going to come to you and say, hey, we have this scene where a person gets their neck slit or something. Can you do that? Nowadays, you can go on YouTube and figure that out. But, you know, will it look right? You don't know. So you got to, like, play and try with it, and then you finally get it down, and, you know, you can blend the skin off or whatever, make it look nice. So we're going to put our contact lenses in now.
How long do they last for? Like if you're shooting a movie, could you use the same chair every day, or?
Usually, contact lenses are made for one person. You have their eyes treated, you know, like they go in, they get their eyes sized. You send it off to the place, and
just like regular contact.
Yeah, they generate the contacts. There's usually something online. You can look at all the different ones, or you can actually create whatever color you want, or, you know, if you say I want a, you know, like an American flag eye, you know, they can do that. So they'll paint it right in. The companies that do it, you know, the contact lenses can charge up to probably about maybe $200 for one. And if it's a full scleral eye, like the full scleral, you know, a regular contact lens will cover just the pupil.
Right.
That's pretty simple. But a full scleral lens goes around the whole eye. So
I didn't know they made that.
yeah, so if you want to change a person's whole eye, like turn it completely black or completely red, you would get sclerals. This is in between a scleral and a regular lens.
A little bigger.
It's a little bigger.
That's cool.
So, you know, we're going to put them in, see what she looks like, and then we're going to, you know, usually we do this last, but I'm going to try and work backwards this time so that we can actually see it coming. You know, before, you know, yeah. As we do it in a, like on a set, you try and do this last because you don't want to have the person sitting around with a contact lens in their eye forever. Usually they get fitted. You can reuse them. Like this pair I am reusing, but I had them professionally cleaned. So I send them out, they send them back, and it's like a brand new pair of contact lenses. And in fact, I think that's kind of what they do, is they just give you new ones. Yeah. And then they just keep the old ones and resell them, or I don't know what they do with them. But they usually are fitted, but this pair is not going to be fitted. So, but I'm pretty sure, unless she has, do you have astigmatism? Yeah, so if she had astigmatism, usually on sets they have a lens tech, they call them. And that's a person who's just comes in to put the contact lens in and then walks away. And that's it. And that's their job for the day, is make sure their eyes are okay. I've been doing it for 30 years, so like I can put lenses in and, you know, with the same kind of care. So you know, since I'm putting something in her eye, and I don't want to put my dirty finger in her eye, I'm going to put the gloves on. Make sure that it's. I flush out the lens so that it gets nice, fresh saline where it's contacting her eye. Okay, so have you look at the go?
I'm not sure what you said.
That's going right over your regular lens, right?
Oh, I'm not wearing glasses.
Oh, okay, good. So you'll be a blind zombie.
Whoa.
probably so weird to have someone else put lenses in, right? So like you.
Pretty effortless, right?
Oh my god.
Oh.
That is so scary. That's so cool.
Wow. Oh, Soleil.
Can you see?
Kind of. Actually, this has a little bit of prescription to them, I feel like.
No, they're just really thick.
Okay.
It's like having a piece of calamari in your eye, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and if they're uncomfortable, you gotta let me know.
They are a little bit, but I think I'm adjusting to them.
They adjust, yeah. After a while, you gotta give it a few minutes,
Yeah.
and then your eyes just go, okay,
Oh my
I
god.
have something in my eye. And sometimes they'll get an air bubble. But close your eye, and you just kind of massage it out.
What was Soleil's natural? Was it blue, green? Blue?
It's very bright.
Yeah, bright blue. That's right. That's what she had.
Open it really wide. Like, look at the camera.
Oh my God.
So, you know, lenses used to be pretty mysterious, and people would be like, "Oh my God!" Now you can buy them in the liquor store almost. But they, the good thing about it is that, you know, this completes the look of the character. That's why we put them in last, because you know the directors will come by and they'll give us their 2 cents, and we'll be like, whatever. And then if they're having any doubts, we just put the lenses in. They're like, "Oh my God, it looks so good." But it's really just the completing of the look. So, you know, we know what it's going to look like ahead of time. Now, usually zombies wouldn't have a bunch of piercings.
Yeah.
No, but that's fine. But we're going to put appliances kind of maybe around them and whatnot. Like, anybody could be a zombie, right?
Yeah.
Anybody can
so
get
you do have a
bitten.
bit of astigmatism.
Pierce person.
Do I?
I think so. Because with a contact lens, if a person doesn't have astigmatism, it'll lay nice and flat on the eye. But a person with astigmatism, their eye is pointed. And when it's pointed, the lens kind of rocks on the eye. It's not a big deal, but I think on this eye at least you have a tiny bit of it.
Did they calm down or they still hurt?
It's still kind of weird. Like, I can see
It's
like
weird,
a
but
halo.
well, yeah, because it's
Yeah.
you're seeing the edge of the lens. The lens actually has a hole in the middle, and the hole is where you see through. That's the pupil. So,
I just wanted to take a picture of myself.
Oh wow.
So next we're going to do the teeth. And so, I mean, you can go to certain supply stores that we go to for a lot of this kind of stuff. This is Fleet Street Blood, or not Blood, they make a blood, which is really nice. But this is tooth stain. So this one is tobacco.
Oh. I smoke stuff.
You do smoke? Well, then you get a glimpse of what it's going to look
Right.
like.
Or why I need to stop.
Why you need to stop. Yeah, shake it up just a little more.
Doesn't it look like a Snapchat filter? Like.
Nail polish. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's called tooth enamel, but it's actually not bad for you to ingest. So we're going to dry your teeth. So you're going to give me like a big... And the reason you dry the teeth is because, you know, sometimes people... You can open your mouth a little. Just a little. What it does is there's usually some sort of a film on people's teeth from their saliva, and it'll stop the stuff from sticking.
Ah.
Ear piercings make it like cool. Are you doing something cool today?
She can't talk. She's going out.
She's gonna go
It's
out.
fresh.
He's gonna go
For sure.
You're gonna go to the dentist.
She's scared boyfriend when you get
So like with a zombie, you know, you want their teeth kind of nasty, and yellow is great because the eyes are so pink and so red, and the yellow's a nice opposite color. But to really make them really nasty, you got to add a little bit of black to chip them up.
Ah.
What is that you're using?
It's tooth enamel.
So it
Open?
won't like get on her lips or anything.
It's okay if it gets on them. So, I mean, you know, kind of what you guys do is you're like,
We're all over here like feeling for you.
you know, and this is really like the basics of makeup right here because it's mouth and eyes. You know, people are attracted to the mouth and the eyes. So they'll look at the eyes and they'll look at the mouth, and like that's why people obsess over their lip lines and their eye lines because they want to make them as perfect as possible. My job is to do the opposite of that. So like if you want a perfect eyebrow, I'll take the eyebrow and then bend it so it looks weird, and I'll maybe make it juxtapose it so it doesn't look.
Sorry, just swallow. Okay.
No, you can do it. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's done.
He's like,
Now you see the picture.
Okay.
Toothbrush. You're
Oh, I
like,
have one of those.
I wouldn't
here.
put that in my mouth. But I didn't opt to be able. She knew what she was getting into.
She's
oh
like,
my
don't
God,
stop on her teeth.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
Can you bring that chair with you to every set? You just buy them? It's a nice
They
chair.
usually supply you with chairs,
They do.
like tables and whatnot.
Well,
You know, like, yeah, I just got this one. It's actually my wife. She does the same thing I do. So she does like special. She does more beauty makeup. I do more, but she does do creature makeup. And that's kind of how we met. I hired her, and then we just got along. And that's, you know. And sometimes, I mean, when you do this stuff, you have to kind of be with people who know what you're in for. Because you'll be on set all night or all day, you know. And so it's really kind of a. It's a very wearing profession. So, but
Want a couple bobby pins?
yeah, if you guys have one, it wouldn't hurt.
I don't think so.
Just one, it's fine. We just want to keep it out. Okay. So,
Is the eye better?
They're comfy.
are they feeling better now?
Oh yeah, they're totally fine.
Yeah. So what this is a medical adhesive. It's called Prosade, and the Prosade basically it's very mild water-based adhesive, but it's very strong. It's, you know, when people wonder what it is, I usually tell them, you know, like when babies are born, they have those little patches they put all over them so that they could, you know, read them, make sure that they're okay. This is the adhesive that sticks them down. So it is very mild. We're going to start off with the bite. And the gelatin, because it's natural, water dissolves it. So if you get water on it, kind of bad news. But witch hazel actually dissolves it, but keeps it nice and intact, because I guess it may have some alcohol or something involved. But when we want to get rid of the edges, we just kind of rub it down with this witch hazel. And witch hazel is good for the skin, and it's not.
Is it burn? No. So I know you use witch hazel for your teeth if it hurts. It's supposed to like burn your gums. No?
I don't know. I've never put it on me. No. Yeah, it's no. I think it's just makeup remover, really. I think but it blends the and I'll do some appliances on that side so you guys can see on that side too. What it's doing. So the face, you know, you kind of map it out and you say, okay, well, this needs to look kind of like a backwards kidney kind of thing, open hole, and you can see muscles through it. And you know, this kind of stuff now is kind of blending into high fashion beauty makeup, because to stand out, people are trying to do more prosthetics and stuff to make them look unique. And so beauty makeup and special effects makeup are kind of merging more than they ever have, which is nice.
Like what kind of prosthetic would you use in beauty makeup? Like
Cheekbones.
Oh, cheekbones.
You could do cheekbones, or you can make the person really angled. You could enhance them so that, like, when you look at them, you're like, wow, that's a really weird model. But technically, eyelashes are prosthetics. You know, fake eyelashes, that's a prosthetic. Because it's not part of you. It's just something you're sticking to yourself.
Yeah.
But, you know, we do, you know, beards and all that kind of stuff as well. That stuff, you know, really ends up being a prosthetic, and to do it right looks, you know, you could tell, and then you watch another show or something, you'll be like, wow, that was a really bad beard they put on that guy. And it's basically you have to kind of, you know, get into it and see what the look of it would be.
Can you tell people's work when you watch shows that you work like, oh, so and so did that or so and so did that? Do you know certain styles or no?
I used to, but now there's so many amazing makeup artists. They all have different styles. I can, to a degree, like I can tell the people I'm fans of. I'll be like, ooh, that's a, you know, Joe Harlow, or this is a Rick Baker, or this is a, you know, to a degree. But the problem with it is that everybody's really good now. You know, there's a level of quality that it's really exciting, because, you know, it used to be, and to be honest, it used to be a very like male-driven industry. Guys put this stuff on, and there was a few girls, and they were really good. But I think that's because they do beauty makeup too. But now there's so many good artists, and they blow all the stuff in the 80s away. You know, like all that stuff was really great, but there's so much new product. There's new like alcohol paints and things.
So what about like with computerization? Like they can't make a face on the computer now?
Sure.
You know, does that affect you guys?
Yeah,
Or they don't?
they do. Well,
It doesn't look as real because they can't move the same way.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It'll eventually maybe, you know, it boils down to the production schedules usually. Like if people have no time, they use computer because they like to do stuff after, you know, to save the production time and money. So they'll be like, we'll just fix it in post. I mean, you probably heard that phrase, right? We'll just fix it in post. But this industry, particularly what I do, was kind of built on rubber. And the fans of it like that. You know, they like that look. It's kind of like classic cars and new cars that look like classic cars. Classic cars are always going to be worth a lot more because, you know, that's the ones that, yeah, they're classic. So people look at it and they're like, that's what I want, one of those. This, you know, a lot of the industry that I grew up with this kind of stuff, they always reference the old movies. I've never heard someone say, oh, I wanted to look just like that thing in Scream. You know, even though Scream's kind of an old movie technically now. No one goes, from the 90s forward, no one says, you know, whatever this movie was from the 90s, I want that. They're always saying, the 80s movies, you know. They always want Alien, but different. And, you know, it's a shame because there's a lot of really great movies now.
Is there anything you won't do?
Like what?
Like, I don't know, just something like that just isn't
You know, I don't
artistic.
I don't do old age makeup because that's almost like a whole another world. Like people who do that do it really well, and they are usually perfectionists, like super perfectionists, and whatever they do, it's pretty admired. I mean, when you see it, you're like, wow, that looks just like an old person or whatever. But to me, it's I got into it because I like creating characters, you know, and that was always my thing, just create characters and stuff. And this just seemed like the only profession that gave me that opportunity. So like with the contouring, like I was saying, you know, she has kind of more rounder cheeks on this side. So instead of putting it exactly on the other side, I lowered it down a little bit so it'll make her face look a little more crooked. So I'm contouring with the shape of the appliance. So, and then this will be the last appliance we do, and then we're going to color it. I mean, this is a specialized high-paying profession. It's not a, you know, I mean, there's people that do it for Halloween, but that's a different thing altogether. Like, if you do makeup for someone for Halloween, you're doing it because you like them. You're not doing it because you're going after the Halloween special makeup world, because that's only like once a year. So I always try and make sure people understand that there's a difference with that kind of thing, in case, you know, because I do teach a lot of people. You know, I've taught a lot of young, upcoming type makeup artists, and then they'll go off and do like Halloween Horror Nights or something like that, and that makeup's really great, but it's a different makeup altogether. That's almost like speed makeup. You know, they're like, we need to do 5 of these guys in 1 hour. So they do really tricky stuff to kind of get that effect. One of these kind of makeups could take up to about 3 hours. So someone would be sitting in the chair for 3 hours.
So when you're on production, how do you like deal with communicating that to directors and they usually expect you to, have it done quickly and get the actor on set?
Well, that's true. I mean, everybody wants it fast. They want it like in 20 minutes. If you say you need 3 hours, they're going to come back to you in 20 minutes and go, "What's your ETA?" And usually I'll say, "What time is it now?" And I got 3 hours. But they don't really want to respect that. They want it fast. So, like with this, I'll put in contact lenses first. This has to be a pretty fast makeup. So I have techniques that I've developed over years that kind of help me speed it up. And gelatin is one of them. Gelatin, it blends off to the skin really well. Even if you have kind of a bad piece, like these pieces are not perfect. These are just, quick, fun pieces so that they look scary. But the witch hazel will blend it off in the skin. I don't have to do a bunch of patching and, in a zombie, you could pretty much do whatever you want. It's almost like the worse it looks, the better. And you just embrace the defects and then hide them in the best way you can.
So are you usually given some kind of picture of what they want that makeup to look like?
Well, it's a couple different ways. Like, sometimes a director will have a very specific thing in mind, and it's usually something he just went on Google and found, and you might be even like, "Oh yeah, I know that guy. I know who did that." And then you'll just copy their work, but make it a little different. With what I do is I like to create characters, so I'll come up with pieces or things that I think are really unique, and I'll try and keep them, specific to the style of things that I do. If they say they want like an alien or something, it could be anything. But when they come up with that, they're like, "I want one of these." Because I've been doing this for so long, I know all the things that have been out there, and I'll try and do something a little different so that it doesn't look like, E.T., So people will be like, "Oh, wow, that looks so cool." But it looks a lot like E.T., And so you have to kind of, try and keep it fresh and get creative. And that's where the creative part is, which is a lot of fun. I mean, it is a very fun job when it comes down to it. It's so fun sometimes you can't even distinguish what's work and what's fun, because you get kind of a charge out of it after a while, especially because, and you've probably experienced this when you do something for somebody and everybody's blown away by the haircut or whatever it is. You get kind of a little bit of a charge out of it, and then you kind of keep that design in your head. Like, I'm going to do that haircut on my other friend. It's the same thing. So these are alcohol-based makeups. They only activate with alcohol, 99%, and they don't come off unless you take them off with alcohol or makeup remover. So you kind of scrub them like watercolors, and they're tinted to like colors that you would use in this kind of field, like blood or jaundice or void, so there's black. Sometimes you want like really nasty jaundicey kind of colors. And what I'll do is I'll fill in the
just like makes it come alive and you just add a couple colors.
So like I specifically kind of left it not colored. I didn't color to match the skin because I'm going to give her an overall coloring. So it doesn't matter if I matched it perfectly. I'll be covering it up anyways with this technique I'll show you guys right now. So I just gave her a little bit of blood in the hole of the cuts and the damaged areas. And then I'll use an airbrush to kind of get a nice breakup on the skin. Because her skin is actually very perfect. Not actually like surprised, but you know, most people don't feel like their skin is perfect till it looks like a China doll. But just a normal opaque palette skin, it doesn't scare anybody at first. You know, there's no character there. So if I did a zombie or an alien or something, I usually try and give them a color or something to kind of make their skin look broken up. And this is purple.
Do you want to pin her bangs out?
Oh yeah, sure. That'd be great.
Thanks.
So I'll take the Skin Illustrator purple. No.
You sure?
Yeah. I don't care. No. No, it'll dry up and it's easier to wipe up.
Okay.
If you try and wipe it while it's wet, it's just going to smear it everywhere. So one of the defects of the airbrush is that if you turn up the air a lot or lower it a lot and you barely press down on it, it does what we call spattering, which it puts a little, close your eye, close your chin up just a little bit. It spreckles all over, and the alcohol makeup, if you add a little more alcohol, it ends up kind of bleeding out, so it fans out almost like, you know, when you add watercolor and water together, or ink and water. See, and I'll just kind of mess her up a little bit with some spattering. Maybe tilt your head just a little bit so I can.
Really messed her skin up.
Well, it does a lot of that kind of, you know, it's camouflage is what we call it. It doesn't let you see where the appliance kind of ends and starts. And then I'll go in and I'll add veins.
This makes it faster, you're right, for the production.
Yeah. They don't have to wait for, you know, 3 hours to do one makeup if I go in and kind of just mess her up, and then I do like a overall light color, which is called rice paper. But at first it looks really harsh. Have you tilt your head that way?
Tickly.
It's alcohol.
Soleil, when's the last time you brushed your teeth?
Oh, geez, I can't
Well, you're gonna brush them this time to get that off.
It takes a few days.
remember. I keep them at school.
No lie. No, okay, tilt your chin up. All right. I know, it's weird, right?
Wow.
So that's the purple lay down. So that, you know, that I do it pretty harsh because once you lay the rice paper on top, all of it kind of just suppresses and it looks like a translucency. It doesn't look like makeup that you laid on top of a person's face. And it's hard to track it too, you know, it doesn't look like someone had a brush stroke, you know. It'll end up being like an overall gross mess.
Did you go to school for this?
No, I didn't. I did, like when I was a kid, it was, there was one school that I spent like $600 on, which at the time was a lot of money to me, and it turned out to be a scam. So I was pretty bummed out. So now I'm going to go in with a turquoise to kind of darken the veins. There are a lot of schools now, and some of them are very good, but to do what I do, I don't think that you actually need to go to school for it as much as you need to just be creative. And school helps it, you know. School gives you the tools and the techniques to make it look really good. But my niece is actually wanting to do this now, which is funny because I never thought she would be into this kind of a thing, you know, like this kind of scary type makeup. Now the turquoise adds depth because blue, it's like where a lot of the blood would pull in, it would start turning blue because it's depth and it's deep looking. The airbrush definitely helps it, but I could do this without airbrush with just a brush that's been cut off and just fleck it. It's just the airbrush helps get into places that you normally couldn't. Underneath the eyes. So right now she doesn't look that interesting because
It's still pretty cool.
because it's just, you know, it's just like one color. Maybe two.
Is it white?
This is yeah, it's kind of it's a color called rice paper. And this is what kind of gives it its translucent look. puts the breakup on top of the veins and the shadows. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay. But you can see there's like it's softened it a little bit overall. And things you don't like, you just go over it with the rice paper and it'll remove it slowly. Can you read? Sorry. But see, our skin's really starting to look not healthy. Tilt your chin up. And I'll go over the wound, you know, with the rice paper. It's not a big deal because you end up putting like fake blood and whatnot in there anyway at the end.
Open your eyes for a second. Whoa. Want to see yourself?
And the idea is to just kind of, you know, break up the perfect skin so that it looks weird. Then you can always go back and accentuate stuff with your palettes.
Is there a specific place you get your makeup from, or what you're using?
Namies
Maybe.
or Nigel's or friends. It just depends on sometimes who has it and who doesn't, you know, because sometimes they don't have it in stock for certain things that I need, so I'll go to the other guy and then. But I try and keep it pretty loyal, you know. Like I grew up going to Berman's and Friends, so I try and go there as much as I can.
Ivy, who was the guy we saw at Who? Taka. Yeah. We saw a guy do some sort of more of the prosthetics. Baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name was Taka.
Taco?
Yeah. He's like a big Samoan.
His burritos friend.
She
said it's burritos friend.
Japanese, obviously, right, or something?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. But he looked almost like Samoan or like Hawaiian, but he's Japanese, yeah.
Big
I
guy?
think it's, yeah, like very, like, big muscular shoulders. Thanks for the words.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Fun.
He had like 8 5-hour energies, I think, before we got there. So he was
So he had chemistry working for him. He was ready.
Wow. Yeah. But it wasn't like a whole face. He would only do the one prosthetic part of it. So I think it's cool to see the whole face.
Well, and you know, like, I didn't even blend this part. You could still kind of see it right there. But, like, and this is so that, you know, if you guys start doing this kind of thing, you don't get caught up too much in the details because it's impressionistic. It's better to have, like, the overall thing look great, and there people are like, I kind of see a little line there, than to have everything look flawless, and then you messed up the color completely because you didn't have enough time to do the color. So if you have all the time, use it for the coloring, not so much everything else. If you have all the time, then use it for both. But
Now, have you done that on like arms and stuff? Like in the zombies, like when they're wearing like a short sleeve shirt and they just have their arms done?
Yeah.
Is that like a whole other technique by way the arm like turns and stuff? Or is it a lot?
Yeah, like obviously you don't put a prosthetic right here because it's going to get scrunched every time. Or right underneath the neck so that they're always scrunching it. You can. You just got to glue it down really good and powder it really good so that nothing happens to it. And with this kind of stuff, I mean, I always just kind of, I'll put like a split in the lip. And I'll widen the nostrils. And this is a trick that's an old trick, you know, like from The Exorcist. And like the Munsters and stuff, they would make the nostrils look bigger, and it just makes them look really scary because
Like a dragon.
yeah, flared.
The eyes is made.
Well, the contact lenses are the cheat, you know. They just look good.
And I think messing up the skin because she got flawless skin, and then now you just put all that stuff on, freckly stuff. That
Yeah.
makes it too.
It makes it interesting to look at least, you know. So people are, you know, the idea is it's art. It's supposed to be beautiful no matter what, you know. Even if it's like a gross, zombie-esque looking thing, you know, you look at it like anything in nature, it would look really, really beautiful, almost like sorry.
Yeah, your hair color adds to it.
Is there some back there? Zombies, they have pretty scraggly hair. Can I take that out?
Yes, please.
And the hair is part of it. You know, every part of it makes it. Like, because I've seen stuff, even the wardrobe. In movies, you can't really touch the wardrobe because that's a whole nother department. You touch even something, they start freaking out. Then they think you want their job. But for the hair, and even a little bit for the skin, and you guys, I don't know if you've ever used this stuff. Ampro. Ampro. It's basically hair gel, but it's that color.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You've seen it before, right?
I've seen that one.
Stain there?
No.
Okay.
Yes. No. Yes. No.
It's gooey, like gooey looking, like zombie looking.
This is her after like a couple of years like on the street. She goes back.
You might keep this look, don't?
I actually do want to wear this all day.
Oh, it's good that we don't have clients today.
I want to get exactly.
Like literally act like a zombie. Like
I just want to go like stand in the parking lot and
Just like go order
chase people.
something in the cafeteria.
We have a blood drive.
Oh, that's amazing. We have a blood
That's
drive.
right.
Just go stand where they have the blood drive.
Like, oh, I
didn't come
blood.
from
This is what happened.
You're like, I think I gave too much blood.
Yeah.
There was something wrong with the needle.
Am I supposed to go back 10 times more?
This is good. Look. Oh.
Oh, it's so creepy. I don't want to look at myself. It's so weird.
Look at me, Soleil. Nice. And then what's your name? I just know you as Ivan's dad. So
Mark.
Mark.
okay, so I'm going to take a picture of both of you guys. Good job.
So for some reason, zombies have really wet, nasty hair
Yeah, they're muddy.
because
Gross.
they're probably oozing. Okay, I'll wait for that.
Oh, that's the blood.
Yeah, this is like blood jelly. I didn't want to put like super wet looking blood because I didn't want to.
Because I'm a zombie, I haven't been bleeding for days.
Well, you might have ate some of it.
Right.
I know.
It's the details, you know, at the end that really kind of make it feel like something.
It's like the whole package together.
It's really good. Everything.
One, like, it's great, you know, like to see it all is so cool.
Mouth all the way?
Yeah. She's just biting somebody.
So now at this point, she looks kind of like an innocent zombie, kind of, you know? Because she doesn't have any real shadow.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to close your eye.
Oh yeah, that does it.
And with this profession, you never know who you're going to get in your chair. And then they're going to be like, hi, this is Christopher Walken. Can you make him look like an 18-year-old boy? Or whatever, you know, so you don't know. So you have to work with a lot of the same, you know, makeup techniques that regular makeup uses.
After you do the makeup and after the shooting, you have to clean it up.
You have to clean everything off of the whatever the person came, however the person came in. You have to send them out like that, unless they're just like, I just want to go take a shower, you know. Then that's a different story. But so I'm just tying in the makeup a little bit so it looks complete. But again, I mean, there's a lot of beauty stuff that you have to know when dealing with this kind of thing because. You know, I actually had a young lady break down and go into a panic because she thought she was going to be a sexy, pretty vampire. And the producers thought it would be funny to not tell her that she was going to be covered head to toe in prosthetics. So she was covered completely. And it's like being in a trash bag with or scuba diving, you know? You're just encased and you feel disconnected from the world. She shut down, and no one could understand why. And then that kicked in like the psychology of it. You have to talk them kind of out of it and make them feel cool and make them feel better. And that's usually why I wait for the end for the lenses because they're already hating it. Not like her; she's kind of all about it. Most actors are like, I just want this over with. So I wait till the end to put the contact lenses in because then everybody goes, oh my God, that looks so great. They start feeling better about themselves and then they're kind of kick into character. But you have to know the psychology of it too, you know, because people are freaks.
Pretty fun for you.
Yeah, even if they know that it's temporary, it's not them. You know, you don't want to see yourself in a mirror. That way.
The best right there, all the guys, and you know, those people have been doing it longer than I have. I mean, they're amazing.
How long have you been doing it?
How long have I been doing it?
Or working
Since I was a little boy, probably. Since I was 15. Yeah. Yeah.
So who got you into it?
I think my brother. I have a brother that sculpts and creates and does stuff, and he still does, but he would come over with sculptures, and I couldn't even believe that he made those, you know, and then, so I started doing it. Then we would go see horror movies together, and they would scare the hell out of me, and then he'd be like, that's just the same stuff that we do, you know. We sculpt and make molds and stuff, and then it clicked in my head, like maybe it's a profession and not just something I do in my room, like a hobby.
Soleil does good makeup, like what you do, she does. She's good.
So what? So you can turn out?
Oh!
Tell her what you were doing.
Switch that around.
Wait, what does it taste
I've
like?
worked with this before too.
What does it taste like? Oh my god. When you
Oh my god!
So that's the same stuff you gotta work.
Do that?
You gotta work the inside as well as the outside because that everything adds to the effect.
do it again?
How'd it taste?
Like nothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like dirt, I guess.
Kinda like dirt.
Like kind of like powder maybe. I don't know.
So like stick your tongue out.
And that's the zombie demo.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.